Hi guys! Before we even start doing anything like sowing seeds or planting out, the very first thing that I need you to do is to get out into your garden and take a really good look and see what area gets the most sun. And that is ideal for growing vegetables and fruit. Once you've done that, you can either choose to grow in things like raised beds that I have here. You can have containers, you can have window boxes, hanging baskets, guttering. I'm going to show you a few things that you can grow in. The only thing stopping you is your imagination, alright? So, what we have here is a variety of different boxes and containers. Alright? The first thing I'm going to show you is the terracotta. Terracotta is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love it, but it can come with a few problems. It's porous, which means it actually absorbs the water. So before you would use this, I would put water into it, fill it up with water for about 30 minutes before you'd even plant in it. It is great for Mediterranean herbs and things. I like it, putting rosemary and stuff like that, and lavender as well is good in it. Now, as you can see, it only has one major drainage hole at the bottom. You see that? I'm not sure if I'm showing you the right thing or not. What I would do is either put some stones or some crocks over that, and then that stops the water all draining out. Another thing, if you're going to use large planters like this, they get really heavy. So you need to decide first where you're going to put it, and then fill it with the soil and then your plants or your seeds. The next one over is plastic, but sort of has like a stone effect. Again, if it's about 30 centimetres deep, you can actually grow some carrots in this. The next one over is wood. Again, you could grow carrots and something like that because of the depth of it. The other thing I would say about wood is I would make sure that you have it actually either put wee bricks, or you can actually buy little things for lifting the pots off the ground, and that stops it from rotting. You can even use compost bags for growing your potatoes in. You just roll it right down, put a few drainage holes in the side of the bag, roll it right down, put some compost in and put your potatoes in, and then as the potatoes sprout leaves, you roll the bag up and you put your compost in and keep going. The kitchen bin I have here, I love using these for potatoes. You need to put some drainage holes in the bottom, and then you do the same principle. Put some compost on the bottom, put your potatoes in and cover up and keep going till you get to near the top of the bin. It's brilliant. I have at least, let me see, 3 already planted out, and this will be number 4. I'm going to plant that out someday soon. There's a variety of different pots that you can get, plastic pots with different sizes. Again, the shallower the pot, I would put in things that don't really require a lot of root space, something like radish, spring onions, salad leaves, things like that will grow very happily in pots like that. The glazed pot that we have over there is also perfect. Better than the terracotta on its own. Terracotta has a tendency to crack in the winter time. These pots don't. Massive pot like that, again, you could actually put in quite a few things to grow in that. I also use these trugs with the handles on them. They come in various sizes. This one has a tumbler tomato in it. I would use it for a dwarf French bean, something like that. Just one is enough, just to give it room. And you can see that there's actually some little flowers starting on this, and that means then there'll be fruit. Hanging baskets, you can get plastic ones like this, or you can get wicker ones. Again, I would use it for one plant. Strawberries could go into something like this. Strawberries could go into something like that as well. Strawberries, tumbler tomatoes, your dwarf beans, you could even put spinach. Something like that would actually try and keep the slugs from getting at it. So you have spinach, kale, lettuce, strawberries, dwarf French beans, dwarf varieties grow well in that, or anything that's tumbling, such as this tumbler tom. Another thing that I'm going to do this year is use guttering, plain old guttering, and I'm going to, with drainage holes in the bottom and the end caps on both ends, and I'm actually going to try and grow strawberries in them this year and hang them on the fence to see if it stops the slugs from getting at them. Might as well try it. I've never done it before, so I'm going to give it a go. And the window boxes is a great thing as well. This one here, I have radish growing. There's actually some little globe carrots growing in there. I don't know if you can see the tiny little row of globe carrots. And there is spring onions, but they haven't come up yet. The globe carrots are literally like a little ball, and they do perfectly in something like this because they don't need a lot of room for roots. So spring onions, lettuce, radish, globe carrots, strawberries, things like that don't need a lot of depth in the pot. So they're quite happy to grow in something like this. The window boxes, I would recommend that you actually try and get the brackets that go on the wall below the windowsill, because if you have pets like cats, nobody sort of sends the cats a memo to say that you have now got new window boxes up on the windowsill, and if that's their favourite windowsill, they're going to continue to jump up and knock everything down. So that's why it's important to have the brackets up. It saves you having to just keep knocking things. The cats keep knocking things down, you know what I mean. So I use them, and this is another thing I'm going to try this year too. It's the first time. I'm trying to utilise as much space as I can. This is actually on the top of my fence, and I'm just using little boxes like this, and I'm going to fill them with compost. I haven't them completed yet. I'm going to put some strawberries into them. I'm going to put some of the globe carrots, some radish, some lettuce, and see how we get on with them up here out of the way. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I mean, this is all scrap wood that I use. I don't use anything expensive, and these are little pots I had left over. Now, when it comes to growing in containers, they're depending on you to look after them. So one of the things that you can do to help is to put in something like water crystals whenever you're putting in the compost. I'm talking about something like this. These are crystals that actually turn into like a jelly whenever you put water on them. So what that does is it keeps the soil or the compost damp, and that you're not having to water as much or as frequently, because as I say, these pots are going to rely on you completely for watering. The thing I would recommend is maybe watering them and damping them before you put them into the compost. I have actually sprinkled them in before into hanging baskets, watered them, and the soil actually swells up with them inside it, and a lot of the compost just come out over the top of the basket, and I lost a lot of it. So do as it says on the back and use it as it says on the back, and don't put any more in. So that's it really. I hope you enjoyed that. Any wood, another thing, any wood that you intend to use in your raised beds, any railway sleepers that you get, must be untreated. So there's no creosote or anything on it, because if you're going to be using these beds and that for edibles, then you don't want to be having any chemicals leaching into that. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it useful. Please let me know how you're getting on, and I'll see you next time.